I'm sorry I tried to stop her. I'm so glad to see you.
You get the hell away from me. $2 million, and I've been worried about how we're going to pay the mortgage.
All right, Paul.
Right, I think you're good to go now.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Out of the Woods. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lindsay Kazarek, and I will be your host for this evening. I am joined by Casey Withers. He will be our co-host and help with tech. And we are joined this evening by a special guest, Chelsea Faulkner. Chelsea is the executive director of the Pocahontas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Growing up just outside of Hillsborough, West Virginia, Chelsea has spent most of her life in Pocahontas County. As a child, she enjoyed spending time in the woods, raised and showed cattle on her family's farm, and did what most children of Appalachia do with their mothers and grandmothers: watch, listen, and learn how to can, bake, and make recipes passed down through generations. After graduating from Pocahontas County High School, she pursued a degree in strategic communications from West Virginia University before landing her first postgraduate job at the Pocahontas County CVB. In her nearly 10 years at the PCCBB, she's combined her passion for branding and promotion with her love for the place she's always called home. So without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Chelsea for her presentation on marketing maple syrup countywide. And if you have any questions or comments that you would like to add to the presentation this evening, please place those in the chat or the Q&A box, and we will get to those at the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here really quick and go ahead and pull up my presentation. So bear with me for a second. Just want to thank Lindsay and Future Generations University for asking me to be here this evening to talk to you guys about marketing maple syrup countywide, and how working with your CVBs and partners, CVBs working with their tourism partners, agriculture partners, and then the tourism partners and agriculture partners working with their local CVBs can maximize, profits and revenue, as well as promote wholesome experiences within the destination to potential customers and travelers. So thanks to everybody joining us this evening. I'll go ahead and jump in my presentation here. So hopefully everybody can see my screen too. But when we think of partnering with your CVB, so we like to look at tourism and agriculture kind of, it's hand in hand. Back in 2017, 2018, we started hearing the word agritourism and the idea of, promoting tourism through agriculture to kind of showcase these experiences, whether that be through hands-on, on a farm or at a local maple syrup sugar camp to do a tour, or that's purchasing local products. Agritourism can look very different depending on what it is that you're selling and how you're selling it. And so a convention and visitors bureau, really our core purpose is to promote our destination to our travelers. And so we can help our tourism partners, our agriculture partners, hospitality partners to drive business, to drive traffic to your businesses, which is going to in turn drive, revenue and dollars into your pockets. And we are also a great resource for marketing and promotion. It is what we do, and we're there to support different initiatives, events, and partners, businesses, tourism assets to market those to potential guests. And we're also a great conduit for future collaboration, future initiatives that may be developed, and also resources to other local producers and connectivities so that, you can have networking through other like producers and partners within the destination, and then regionally as well. So they're a great conduit for resources and support for all of the partners, tourism, agriculture partners within a respective county or destination. And every year, I like to look into trends and predictions for travel in 2025. I started looking into what the predictions were for this year, and we're seeing that travelers are seeking more and more wholesome, authentic experiences when they travel. And we've always really known that, but the way in which it's shifting and is predicted to shift for 2025 is really unique in that travelers aren't looking to just experience like a hands-on, maybe a tour or visiting a sugar camp. They're really looking to live like a local, to give back, to volunteer. So I think when you look at agriculture and you look at the interest in volunteerism, sustainability, and having these really immersive experiences that educate a traveler on their destination's culture, heritage, history, 2025 is really a great year for agritourism to really capitalize on travelers' interest. And I think through simple promotion, it can be done well to kind of, encourage folks in 2025 to visit your destination and have these really authentic experiences with different tourism partners through different events. And so when you think of a CVB, marketing is a core part of what we do, but we also, especially as an executive director, a core part of my job is really developing products to promote. And so we spend a lot of time developing a product. And so CVB typically, defines a tourism product as an asset, an attraction, an activity, or an amenity within a destination. And so some examples of that would be, an initiative or an event like Mountain State Maple Days or Pocahontas County Restaurant Week, the Roadkill Festival, local hotels, your restaurants, your outfitters, a historical site or trail, and your attractions like your ski resorts, the Green Bank Observatory and Cass Scenic Railroad. Those are all tourism products that we work to promote and to help enhance. And so sometimes product development for a CVB looks different. There's kind of varying layers to product development, how you think of how to develop something to promote from a CVB perspective or within tourism. And so, examples of high level product development would be something like the Monday Lake Trail System, where a lot of time and funding and stakeholders involved to create this new trail system. And, that's kind of big project, top high level product development. But a lot of times it can be so simple as to what's already existing and what you already have in your destination, piecing that together and packaging that together to promote that. And, an example of that would be Mountain State Maple Days. In 2019, when this first started, my predecessor, Kara Rose, started working with the West Virginia Maple Association to promote Mountain State Maple Days because we had 2 maple producers in Pocahontas County. So we were like, we definitely should participate in this initiative for Mountain State Maple Days weekends in Pocahontas County. And in 2019, when it started, it was small, 2 sugar camp tours and maple syrup producers were in the county and participated. We had 6 restaurants who offered maple themed specials for those 2 weekends. And 3 lodging partners, I think, who offered special discounts for those Maple Day weekends for folks who wanted to book and stay those weekends. They had a discount. And, now 2025, it has grown into a much larger product that has many different, 5, 6 different sugar camps and a new one that is, I think, wanting to participate in 2026. They weren't quite ready for 2025. And from Mountain State Maple Days has come the week-long first ever Pocahontas County Restaurant Week. So again, it's kind of that development of it started small and it's grown. And so again, it was just something that we had here that we continued to enhance and develop. And now it is growing, and it's growing in popularity, and we're able to grow in how we promote it as well at the CVB level. So, other examples of that would be like the dark sky parks. Nobody constructed the dark skies, they're just there. And, we now have dark sky parks within Pocahontas County to promote to travelers as well. So I think when you think of product development, just looking at what you already have, the resources available, and how you can package that to promote that to not only travelers, but, entice your residents who live in your community as well and connect with them as well. And so a CVB functions similar to how any other business functions. You know, we rely on product sales to increase our revenue. Now, we're not directly selling anything at the CVB, but our revenue comes from occupancy tax. And we know that, you know, when visitors are in a destination, they're not just staying at a hotel, they're dining at a local restaurant, they're purchasing souvenirs to take home, they're you know, taking a tour at an attraction. So it helps boost the local economy as well. So we really rely on our partners and their products and their events programming to promote our destination as a, you know, interesting place to come, a place that entices visitors to want to book a trip here, to come and stay, so that we in turn make more money for not only the CVB, but our local businesses as well. And again, a success story of that is Mountain State Maple Days and how much it has grown from the start to where it is now. And looking at that a little bit more from the marketing standpoint, you know, your CVB is made up of your local marketing, your destination marketing, destination experts. So they really know who the folks are that are coming into the destination. So those are the few folks who are walking in your doors, and your businesses are attending your events. And you know, they know where that audience is coming from. They know how to reach them, and they have the budget and the resources and the staff to be able to promote the destination and all of the, you know, tourism assets and events and festivities within the destination. And so looking at the marketing side of things, you know, at the CVB, and really all marketing folks look at things through the marketing funnel. And I'm sure maybe some folks are familiar with this, but, you know, it starts top level and then you narrow that down. And really that's where the CVB has their expertise of, you know, meeting the potential visitor at the brand awareness and letting them know that, you know, Pocahontas County, West Virginia is a destination. And you kind of just start very basic like that, and you build into that, you know, you continue to build the consistency in your ads to where they consider a trip, they book a trip, they convert, they come here, they spend money, they leave, they had a great time, they decide to book again next year at the same time, same place. And then they move into the advocacy stage of place after they've come here, you know, 2 times for 2 years in a row, and they become an advocate of your destination or of your business. And now they're telling their friends about how great of a vacation they had in your destination, or how wonderful the family had such a great time at the sugar camp tour in Pocahontas County or in Pendleton County. And you've got to take your kids and, you know, check it out. So they start, you know, word of mouth, becoming an advocate for your business and your destination. And again, your CVB is really there for you to lean on for those resources to be able to connect with your business or your consumers and those potential travelers. And so at the CVBs, and when you're thinking of how to promote your business or your product, I think sometimes CVBs have different levels of resources and capacity and staff. And so, you know, sometimes it may be that a CVB might not have the capacity to be thinking so broad on these product development. So I think it's important too for partners to think about ways to be their own advocate in their promotion, and to really have that open line of communication with your CVB to be able to share ideas that you may have, because at the CVB, we rely on all of our tourism partners and businesses, again, to help enhance our destination for guests that are traveling here. So if we don't know about something, or if, you know, there's an idea maybe that we haven't thought about, not having that information, you know, it can be really crucial. And you know, it's important to have that open line of communication for sharing and engaging, whether that be the CVB to the local tourism partner, agriculture partner, or whether that be looking on the opposite side of that, you know, going to your local CVB and maybe it's a group of agriculture producers who are interested in doing something similar to Maple Days. And it's, you're going to meet with your local CVB to talk about ways in which maybe you can partner to launch these initiatives and products to be able to promote. And so I think that it's very much a mutually beneficial partnership and collaboration, right? When we're equally sharing with each other and brainstorming and working together to, enhance our destination and our offerings and connect our guests to the businesses within our destination. And so a lot of times at the CVB, we spend a lot of times thinking creatively about how we're going to market our destination and how we're going to promote the products that we have. And I think the first thing that when you're thinking of promotion, it's to think big. And a lot of times I think when you think about promotion and advertising and you hear the word big, you think you need to have a big budget or a big marketing team that's devoting all this time to, the campaigns and the strategies. And while that is great to have, it's not necessarily what would prevent you from being able to promote a product or your destination. And so when you think of thinking big, it's more so thinking about what you have to offer, what you are selling, what resources you have, and how can you maximize your promotion through those channels and through those resources with what you've got. And so, while it would be great to see a Mountain State Maple Days Super Bowl ad one day, and I will manifest that for all of us, that might be really big. And realistically, today, tomorrow, next year, that's too big picture for us. We probably will not be able to snag a Super Bowl ad to promote Mountain State Maple Days, but we do have really robust social media channels and a really great e-newsletter that we have an engaging interaction with our guests that have signed up for that. So again, just looking at what you've got and how can you maximize strategically your promotion through that. Also thinking outside of the box. We live in an age of consumerism, whether you're talking about material goods or social media, media in general. It's really important to think about how you can stand out. There are a ton of destinations that have all kinds of really cool experiences and programming, but how do we package what we have to offer and really entice our guests to want to book that trip to come here? And so when you're thinking about promotion, think creatively, both in how you're packaging your promotion and how you're marketing that, what channels you're using, and how creative can you go with your brand activation, your event activation, and how you're engaging with guests to entice them to book their trip. You want to be really creative and stand out, and that oftentimes comes through showcasing your authenticity too. So the best thing in promotion is to sell what you have and know what you have and what you're offering. And so when we think of Mountain State Maple Days, it's this really immersive experience where you're kind of learning more about maple syrup making, but in Appalachia. Has an Appalachian heritage and cultural component to it. And then there's the dining of it all and the lodging. And so, we're really trying to showcase this authentic, Appalachian experience where you're learning about maple syrup making and you're dining at restaurants that use local produce and beef and chicken and whatnot. So just really figuring out who you are and what you're selling and sticking true to that, and then meeting your audience where they're at. So for Mountain State Maple Days, one of the key things for the CVB that's been really successful is us really communicating with our sugar camp tours and our maple syrup producers when you're seeing your guests at these tours and you're engaging with them, where are you hearing that they're coming from? You know, are they coming in from Florida, or are they driving from Columbus, or are they in state? And we found that we see a large number of in-state travelers who are booking, you know, weekend getaway and are coming to Mountain State Maple Days. So we've really honed in on that and identified, you know, some paid promotion opportunities that are through West Virginia channels where we know we're meeting that West Virginia audience where they're consuming their content. So social media is another great way to meet your audience where they're at. We know that everybody is on social media and has social media. So, you know, promoting yourself through there is a great way to reach and promote your products and reach people right where they're at, right where they're consuming you know, content. And then consistency and persistency, you know, just like Maple Days has grown in the last 6 years to be a lot larger than it was in 2019, that's through just the consistency. And we're going to continue to have this. We're going to continue to promote it and work to enhance it. And we're also going to be persistent in how we're promoting that and making sure that we're not only just looking at this anymore from promoting it during, you know, the window of Mountain State Maple Days, but how do we really garner interest and build interest beyond that month of those 2 Maple Days and kind of keep agritourism, our products within that agritourism umbrella that we have here in Pocahontas County? How do we keep that top of mind for folks and also continue to remind them of the great you know, weekend opportunities for Mountain State Maple Days and Pocahontas County Restaurant Week. So again, just being consistent and persistent in how you promote and how you continue to enhance, you know, your product and what you're selling. And so I'm going to pause this before it starts getting really loud on us. I've got some examples of different promotional opportunities and things that we've done with Mountain State Maple Days over specifically this year, but I'll talk a lot about kind of just some things that we've done over the course of the last few years to really promote Pocahontas County Mountain State Maple Days. So again, when this started in 2019, the idea was really built around, you know, tourists for a while now have been craving authentic experiences when they're traveling. And so Maple Days grew out of the idea of agritourism, and that we have some agritourism products here in Pocahontas County. We've got maple producers in Pocahontas County. The state is doing this initiative. So how can we kind of latch on to that to, you know, promote this experience of maple syrup making and buying local maple syrup to take home and having this kind of full-on experience that's all encompassing from a like a vacation standpoint, and really kind of capture travelers' interests of really wanting those unique experiences. And so at the time, again, it started with the sugar camp tours, and that kind of builds in that hands-on educational experience. And here in Pocahontas County, I think it's really awesome and just special. And I think it speaks volumes to our producers, how skillful they are in what they're doing and how they're doing it in Pocahontas County. We have a lot of sugar camps, but they all offer different types of experiences and tours. So Fort Warwick is very much based in traditional syrup making. So when you're there, you're learning about primitive ways in which maple syrup was made, and you're at Fort Warwick, which is, you know, a historical site. And so Bob Sheets is, you know, telling you about the traditional ways of maple syrup making, but he's also giving you a tour of the historical site and reminding you that, you know, it's a great time to come and visit when there's not snow on the ground, encouraging folks to come back and book that trip. But really, there's that historical side of a Fort Warwick sugar camp tour, whereas a Frostmore Farm, Hillsborough Maple Works is a lot more inventive and kind of like modern in how they do it. And Hillsborough Maple Works is very experiential in how they kind of use different tree saps to make different syrup products. And so, you know, again, 2 modern facilities that are all, like kind of looking at maple syrup through different lenses. So guests are getting different experiences when they're touring those camps as well. And then you've got U Mountain and High Rocks, who offer different maple syrup and sugar camp tours that are truly focused on the educational component and sustainability, and, you know, really kind of immersing folks on that side of things. So it's really cool to be able to have all of these different kind of offerings within our sugar camp tours, and that kind of allows folks to not just look at like booking for one weekend. It, you know, encourages them to come for both weekends, or book next weekend you didn't, or next year for Mountain State Maple Days weekend, because you didn't get to maybe tour Fort Warwick and you did do U Mountain Center in Hillsborough Maple Works. So now you want to, you know, come back the following year and check out those other places. So having that kind of hands-on educational experience that also allows that kind of conversation and connection between guests and the producer, the business, etc. And then there was the element of having unique places to stay. We reached out to lodging partners, and if they were interested, they could offer a discount for folks who booked lodging during those 2 weekends. And so that was really a great way for us to encourage folks to, you know, book an overnight stay and make this a full weekend experience, not just come down for Saturday. Again, if we're noticing that we have a lot of in-state travelers coming and touring at our sugar camps, we want to be mindful that, you know, we don't want them to just drive down from Charleston for the day and then go back. We want them to stay the night, right? And have a full weekend experience. And then on top of that, we kind of layered in the dining element of the experience, which was having some of our local restaurants offer maple themed menu items that used local maple syrup. And so, you know, all across the county, we had different restaurants offering different menu items that appealed to different tastes and likes, and you know, really kind of offered the side of, you know, enjoying a meal at a local restaurant. And then there was like the cultural component that we just realized, like, wow, the Opera House is already doing you know, events that both Saturday nights of Maple Days. So let's make sure that we include promotion of going to Opry Night at the Pocahontas County Opera House, where you can, you know, listen to various musicians that are well known through Appalachia for their mountain music. And so, you know, you're there, you're engaging with locals that are out at the event, you're listening to mountain music, and, you know, all kinds of those sorts of events that can, again, just continue to enhance the experience for the guest. And then you look at just your local shop. So where can you go in Pocahontas County and buy local maple syrup? Where can you buy Hillsborough Maple Works syrup and Frostmore Farm? So promoting where folks can stop and purchase maple syrup and goods to take home, you know, with them after their trip. What attractions can they check out while they're in town? Maybe they're up at Fort Warwick up in Green Bank, and after they finish up their sugar maple tour, we, you know, promote stopping at the Green Bank Observatory, you know, an attraction where you can go in and tour the Science Center and take tours of the world's largest steerable telescope. So again, kind of encouraging, you know, that kind of activity within their trip as well, and visiting those different attractions. And then also promoting different activities that may be happening. So if there's a great snowstorm for the February Maple Days weekend, it would be great to promote, you know, getting out and going cross-country skiing. Or sometimes we're lucky enough where West Virginia Free Ski Day falls on the Sunday after the March Maple Days, you know, Saturday. So we promote, like, hey, if you are a West Virginia resident and you're in town for Mountain State Maple Days, stick around Saturday night, and you know, you can go and get a free ski pass up at Snowshoe to ski for free on Sunday. So really thinking about, again, what you have and how you can piece those together to really promote this kind of wholesome experience, because we all know that each guest is looking for something different. One guest that is interested in maybe touring a local museum might not be interested in maybe going to an event at the Opera House, or maybe somebody who is interested in cross-country skiing is not going to spend much time, touring attractions and things like that. They're going to be outside recreating while they're in the area. So, kind of having all of these different things that you can identify to promote really kind of casts a wide net for different interests that folks might have in their seeking for a full immersive experience while they're here for Mountain State Maple Days. And so this year, we were talking with Future Generations University, probably around the end of Maple Days 2024. And we were working with them on a project where we had a little bit of funding to, help us promote Maple Days. And so through our conversation of how we were going to do that, we talked about like, let's make a Pocahontas County maple cookbook that we can share out with folks that has recipes from local maple syrup producers and local restaurants that features maple syrup. And then we can also list again where folks can buy that local maple syrup. And so that kind of grew from just this cookbook to like, well, why are we just doing a cookbook? What if the cookbook was a part of something a little bit bigger than just Maple Days? We already have all of these restaurants that are offering maple-centric specials for the 2 weekends of Mountain State Maple Days weekend. What if we just bust that into a full week, highlighting our local dining partners through a restaurant week and have it kind of leveraged to where it's falling in Maple Month. So it's encouraging some engagement from folks between those 2 Mountain State Maple Days weekends, but also leveraging that last weekend to where Mountain State Maple Days would start, the Saturday before that last Saturday of Mountain State Maple Days. And the idea of Restaurant Week was to take it even further than just promoting maple syrup, but promoting all of these dining establishments that we have in Pocahontas County that really focus on utilizing local produce, whether it's local maple syrup or local protein or whatever type of a local, really the focus is on farm to table. And so that's kind of where our brainstorming led to kind of this new product that we developed, which was Pocahontas County's first ever restaurant week. And so when we thought about how to promote that in conjunction with Maple Days, it would be really cool to do some sort of a fun giveaway. And so what we did was you can kind of see it down here on our little Facebook. We had a giveaway where we had a goodie basket, free stay, free meals, tickets to the Opera House. So the way folks would enter for this giveaway is they would sign up for our newsletter. And this newsletter isn't our public newsletter. It is a customized, it's going to be solely used for promoting agriculture, agritourism in Pocahontas County. So this newsletter will go out, quarterly every season or maybe every other month. And it'll really focus on highlighting our different agritourism products, right? And so to enter the giveaway, they had to sign up for the newsletter. And again, that newsletter now is going to be utilized for more than just Maple Days promotion, but beyond that to greater agritourism promotion. And we've also, built that out even further to where now our Maple Days cookbook, while we printed it and we do have it out at different restaurants who are participating in Restaurant Week this year for folks to pick up, we also have it on our website. So if you didn't have money to print something like that, we put it up on our website. It's a digital version and you could click through to view it or you could download it. But to do so, you have to enter your email where we tell you that you're signing up for a newsletter that will be sent to you and have information related to Pocahontas County agritourism events and experiences. And so again, just continuing to grow that direct contact list with folks that we can continue to promote specifically Mountain State Maple Days, agritourism related festivities to an audience that we know is interested in that because we've got their information from Maple Days and Restaurant Week promotion. And so again, whether you have paid a budget that you can do paid promotion or you're doing this totally organically, I think it's important to remember that no matter what resources you have, you can promote what it is that you're selling or your destination. And I think it's important for every business, even if you can't have this consistent posting schedule on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media channel, I do think it's really important for every business to at least have like a Facebook page, an Instagram page. So that way, from a CVB point, we can tag you when we're doing our social media content, and folks can click your site. They can go to your website if you have your link in your bio, or they can see maybe where your address is so they know where to find you. Again, you don't have to put a ton of time to it, because I know that it takes a lot to manage social media channels, and not everybody in business has the capacity to do so. But even if you just have a page, it's super useful because it allows us to be able to connect with you and allows our guests, our customers to connect with you as well. And so here's an example from the Mountain State Maple Days weekend we had there on February 15th. This was an Instagram story that a girl who was on our team, she decided to take the day and go out and eat her way through the Maple weekend festivities and take in some tours. And we shared it on our channel, and it had great engagement and promoted Maple weekend coming up in March. So I'll let that play for a minute before I move on. You are mine. And so, yeah, that was just, like I said, one of our staff members going around on Saturday, just taking some content, putting it up on our site. And, again, you can see she's like tagging the location of these places and tagging their social media pages, so that not only can visitors interact with their pages or, see on a Google map where Simply Sweet Cafe is in Pocahontas County. But then again, if you're seeing that on your social media page, all you have to do is just click share to your story, and we've tagged you in it. So again, you're not having to go out and craft this content or share this content from your business, but we've got it for you and we're sharing it. And so you can share that to your audience on your social channels as well. So again, having a social media channel is really important, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. I think those are the two probably most important. But yeah, again, it's like it could be as small as free promotion, organic promotion, press releases, social media, to, something like a partnership with West Virginia Living, where we did a sponsored e-newsletter. It's just looking at what resources you have and starting from there. And at the CVB, we've been lucky to grow our budget for marketing for Maple Days. What started at 0 has now grown. And so we're actually able to do more paid promotion now. But outside of marketing and the product development side of things, I think just looking ahead, it's really important to foster these relationships between tourism partners, businesses, and agriculture partners and businesses in your local CVB, because it leads to enhanced partner relations and connectivity and collaboration for, future efforts or initiatives. Again, a CVB allows you to tap into, continued promotion of your business or your events, your products. Just like our newsletter, that is something that we're taking on in-house and sharing with our audience that we've built through that newsletter list. And all we need is just the content from our agriculture, our agritourism partners to put in that. And we're doing all the heavy lifting as far as, the layout and putting it in there and making sure it gets out on time to that list. So we're there to kind of help continue to brand and promote through promotion, through marketing, advertising, social media. And also, sometimes every CVB has different resources and opportunities for their partners, but here at the CVB, for example, at Pocahontas County, we offer resources such as an event marketing grant. So if you were to be having an event and you wanted some marketing funding and support, we have a grant where you can apply for funding to support your marketing for your event. We do sponsorships for businesses or groups, programming. We have the Cow Price Appalachian Enrichment Event Series, which is focused on funding events that have to do with enhancing and fostering, Appalachian heritage and culture. We also do social media and advertising collaboration. So, we'll reach out to a partner, or we'll have a business reach out directly to our Instagram page and say, hey, can you share this for us on your stories? Or, hey, I just saw you did a really cool feature for Rivertown Cafe. My business would love to be featured on your social media page. Could we connect with you? We're constantly needing content for our website, for our blogs, for our social media. So again, just having that relationship and that communication and knowing what your events are, or what it is that you're interested in selling, or what type of partnership opportunities you're looking for, is really important. And then on the other side of that, looking at just collaboration and development, your CVB again is really a hub for connectivity to not only local, but state and federal grant opportunities. So, we're involved with a lot of different stakeholders and groups and organizations. And so a lot of times we're aware of different, funding opportunities or, resources such as like trainings, workshops, research and development, to enable you to expand your business operations or your offerings, or even just to better understand, who are the customers that are coming to my business or my attraction. CVBs oftentimes have access to whether it's their own research or it's the state tourism's office, tourism research. There's the connectivity to all of those resources as well that we're here to provide, information on and support through. And then there's the networking side of things. So tourism is very much, it's all about networking and collaborating. And we do that oftentimes through conferences, special events, again, trainings, webinars. And so we have connectivity to different things like that may be happening on not only within the county, throughout the region, but throughout the state. And so being able to participate in those and know about those, again, just allows you to network, build those connections and relationships, and learn more about, what others are doing, what other opportunities exist, and kind of build upon what you're already doing. The CVB is also great for providing, again, updates on industry trends and the economic impact that a destination or that visitors have on a destination. It's like I said at the beginning of the presentation there about the predictions for 2025, every year I'm trying to read up on the industry trends and what are travelers looking for in the new year, and how can we continue to enhance and grow and become innovative in what we're offering and how we're delivering that to our audiences, and also what impact is that making on our economy, and how can we better advocate our impact on our economy within our local communities. And it also allows us to really look at fostering like future partnerships and product development. Again, just like Mountain State Maple Days has now kind of sparked this restaurant week. And so, things like that over time kind of develop, and oftentimes ideas come out of ideas, and then you're a snowball of, a project or a product that you've got that you can really now develop and promote. And so I think it's just important to remember that, future collaboration and development is constantly happening and is constantly being focused on within your local CVBs. So it's just important to again think big picture to how partnering and working with your local convention and visitors bureau, and how working together with your tourism partners can really overall enhance the destination and really impact the overall economy of a county or a community. And so that was all I had as far as presentations and just my slideshow and all of my chatting. So yeah, just really appreciate all of you guys this evening. And any questions, I guess now I hand it back over to Lindsay and Casey, and we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was packed full of amazing information. Um, I love hearing about how things have evolved in Pocahontas County. Um, I have learned so much over the years from Kara Rose, who was the former executive director at the Pocahontas County CVB. And Chelsea obviously has got to learn so much more from Kara, but a lot of really good work as far as Maple Days goes has been done in Pocahontas County. So if you've never been to Maple Days in Pocahontas County, I highly recommend that you get out there and visit because it's some really good stuff. So we do have some questions here. If you're ready, Chelsea, have you gotten a drink and some time to breathe?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So thank you.
Awesome. So, first and foremost, Chelsea, are there any costs or fees involved when a producer or anyone works with their county CVB?
No, at least not from our CVB perspective, and I don't know any other CVBs that charge any types of fees or anything to work, partners working with
Perfect.
CVBs. So yeah, we're desperate for that partnership too. So it's open and accessible for all.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, Chelsea, the CVB wants the community to come and engage with them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Awesome. So the next question we have is how would a producer begin the process of starting their own restaurant week, similar to what Pocahontas County is doing in their own home county?
So a producer interested in starting or engaging the idea of starting a restaurant week within their own county.
Yes. More or less, what did that process look like for Pocahontas County if a producer would want to begin that in their own county?
So I think from the Pocahontas County perspective, like the restaurant week kind of came from inside the CVB sort of, and then we reached out. But I think again, if you're a producer or partner that has an idea, call up your CVB executive director and say, hey, I've got this great idea that I'd really like to pitch, and that's can spark that conversation and communication to kind of build upon that. And I think oftentimes, like if you're finding that maybe you're having a hard time engaging with your CVB when you're pitching that, maybe reach out to a couple of other partners who are also interested in participating and pitching it as well. Because oftentimes, when there's multiple people who are like, hey, no, we really want to do this, sometimes if somebody's not maybe absorbing it or kind of taking it a little bit further, having more folks saying like, we really think that this is a value to promote and we're interested in doing it. A CVB hearing that would entice them to pitch in and help out.
Perfect. Thanks, Chelsea. We have another question here. Are there any specific major event websites you suggest using other than Facebook and Instagram?
Think that is really the main event websites. I can't think of any like social events off the or channels that you could share events quickly and that would reach bigger audiences than like Facebook and Instagram. But I would say that like if you're make sure that you've got your event on your CVB's website, that they have that up on their website. and I think it's good to, like, maybe if you're in a town, and your town has a website, you know, and a calendar with events, thinking of things like that, and also, you know, newsletters and things like that, are great ways to kind of promote events as well. We've also found that we've got like a little banner that we can put up on our website too that pops up on the home screen. So that's kind of a great way to like grab attention to on a website. If you're able to kind of deploy that on your website, kind of grabs folks' attention that might be just going to your site and might have no idea about the event.
Yes, and I also just added in the chat that your local extension office will help promote ag events if you reach out to them. So that's also another option.
Local radio too.
Yes. We have another question here, Chelsea. What other ways does Pocahontas County support maple syrup and its producers year round?
So that has been something that we're continuing to strategize on to try to build out. It's something that we're kind of is a continued work in progress. So again, the Maple Cookbook, we're going to try to reshare that cookbook over social media and through blog posts and things like that over time so that we continue to share it. And we also have it as a digital file so we can add to it as we get more producers or more restaurants who submit recipes. So, you know, as we do that, we can continue to like generate that out there, and can do that in a way to promote maple syrup and cooking and utilizing maple syrup year round. We also try and have continued to really try to enhance how we promote specifically agritourism and maple days within our annual adventure guide. So instead of just listing it as an event in the back of our annual visitors guide, you know, we have a page on, you know, the different agritourism related events and Mountain State Maple Days so that, you know, year round, it's that constant promotion of the weekend events. But yeah, that is something we're continuing to like really figure out how we can better promote maple syrup year round. I think that we've talked a lot with social media. Again, we're constantly looking for content. And so maybe it's just one of our staff members whips up a maple recipe and we, you know, share that out and we share that you can go pick this up at a local restaurant down the street. You know, we've talked about that, like when the summer rolls around, you know, using some video content to capture like some marinated maple marinated, you know, grilling action and share that out. So it is something that we're continuing to work on. We're far from having it down on how we're going to promote maple year round. But again, having that agritourism newsletter too allows us to kind of think outside of the box and how we can incorporate maple into that newsletter year round, to continue to promote maple syrup and maple producers and the idea of maple days. And one cool thing that you know, we try to do too is work with youth and do different educational activities around that as well, to encourage, you know, youth education around Maple Days, and FGU's done a lot with that here in Pocahontas County, to kind of work with our youth as well to educate on maple.
That is a fantastic segue, Chelsea. Thank you. Casey, if you wouldn't mind, Chelsea, if you will go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
Yes.
We can go ahead and we will turn things over to Casey, and Casey can talk for a second about the youth engagement component and how that is a fantastic way to spread the word about maple syrup in your county.
Yeah, thank you all. So my name's Casey Withers, and I work with Lindsay at Future Generations University, but I live in Pocahontas County, and it's been cool to see the promotion and by the Pocahontas County CVB and the participation of all the local restaurants and businesses and things like that buying in, and it's made the weekend pretty lively around here the last few years. And I went out to Hillsborough Pub this past weekend and ate some maple food specials there, and there was music there, and talking to other people that had been out to U Mountain Center or Hillsboro Maple Works and other places in the county. So that was pretty cool. And so one other thing that we're doing in Hillsboro is Future Generations has a Maple in the Classroom program, and it's available for K through 12, those grades. And there's curriculum that's aligned with the state educational standards. So it's kind of ready to plug and play if you want to do some classroom education based around maple syrup production. And then there's also kind of a hands-on experiential learning part where we have free materials to give you, 10 buckets and 10 taps, among a few other things. But we've implemented that last year at Hillsboro Elementary School, and done tapping at the school property with grades K through 5. And we're in a pretty good position there since I live in Hillsboro, and Hillsboro Maple Works, we have a local syrup producer right there in the town. So it all kind of aligned pretty well there. So having a local syrup producer is a huge helpful part to all of this. But last year was the first year that we implemented it at Hillsboro Elementary, and we just did the tapping and collected sap, and Hillsboro Maple Works would come by and pick it up. And they evaporated the sap and made syrup at their sugar house. But the school was able to come over for a field trip there, so they got to check that out. And they're doing the field trip to the Sugar Shack every other year, but we're planning to do the tapping at the school every year. And this year they implemented the classroom curriculum. So I'm excited to hear how that's going. But I'm going to show you just some pictures of the Hillsboro Elementary School Maple in the Classroom tapping. But yeah, just kind of another way to engage with people through maple syrup and get people excited about what's going on locally and connecting them more to their food and place. But so the kindergartners and first graders, will go ahead and drill the tap hole for them, but they do everything else. But second grade through fifth grade, they drill their own hole and do pretty much everything under our supervision themselves. And then they get to come out and check their sap buckets and see how much is flowing. But yeah, Mackenzie from Pocahontas County CVB, she came out to take these pictures, and Kinsey B Photography is her business. But yeah, it was a good time, and it's always fun to pick a day to tap, which we got lucky to do this year, where kind of as soon as you drill the hole, there's sap coming out. That definitely gets the kids excited. But I don't know if you can hear that or not.
I will say too, one other thing that just popped into my head when thinking of how to, promote maple syrup beyond just Mountain State Maple Days weekend. We've noticed that we've got a lot of nonprofit organizations like our local Lions clubs or women's clubs. And, we've seen that like during Maple Days weekends, they'd like to have they'll do a pancake lunch and offer, or pancake brunch and do pancakes and maple syrup. And I think that, looking at that broader, there is really no reason why that couldn't be offered, during December, when we're doing our pancakes with Santa at the, Marlington Elementary School here ahead of the Marlington Christmas Parade, utilizing local maple syrup for the pancakes, and just again adding that into our promotion of having pancakes with Santa. So I think, again, looking at your local nonprofits and youth groups, organizations, and also engaging with them is a great way to, again, just have another, event or dinner, whatever, to promote, but also is great for them in fundraising and gaining some funds.
Great. Thank you both. It doesn't look like we have any more questions that have come in. we've got about a minute left, so let's give everyone a chance to ask any last minute questions that they may have. And while we're doing that, Casey, would you mind go ahead and launching our poll? Thank you. So if you have a question for Chelsea, for Casey, or just in general, please feel free to go ahead and ask that now. And yes, if you are interested in Maple in the Classroom, please email sprout@future.edu and we would be happy to get you information about that. It's a fantastic program if you are interested. So if we don't have any more questions coming in, Chelsea, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. You've had a fantastic program that was just filled with great information about how our maple syrup producers can engage with their CVB and utilize marketing year-round to expand their maple syrup program. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And Casey, thanks for sharing what is going on at Hillsborough. That is such a fun initiative and great report. Good luck with the tapping this year.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed myself, and my emails and phone number at the office is in the end of that slide. So if anybody ever wants to reach out, ask any questions or, feedback or anything like that, I am an email or a phone call away.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you here next month.
Thank you all.